Yay. Okay, so this was the live stream I was supposed to do 2 days ago, and I kind of got distracted in what was going on with family down in Florida. If you don't know, my uncle's wife, she has COVID. So just kind of got caught up in family business and was not able to make it on here when I originally wanted to do this. But I hope everybody is doing well. I really do. And we're just going to give it a few more minutes so that more people can come in before I get started. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Shalom. Okay. I'll get ready for that heat wave. We're not that far from it. It starts this coming Saturday. I know where I am, it's going to be 93, and Sunday they have at 97, and then Monday 98. So it's going to be roasting. You ain't going to have a choice but to be in. I tell you what, that's another way of forcing everybody into lockdown, a heat wave. Well, I won't complain. There's going to be parts of the country in triple digits. At least for the first few days, we're not going to be in triple digits. Okay, y'all. We have 67 people. So when we get closer to 100, I will get started. I hope everybody is doing well. Let me just make sure. Let me just check something, y'all. Hold on one moment. Let's see if I can open another session. Yeah, it's okay. All right, perfect. All right, at 88. Wow, 106 degrees in Arizona, Black Cherubim. Wow, above for 106 and above for 2 weeks. Oh, man. Ooh. Look, I'm screaming over 97. I guess I shouldn't be such a big wuss then. Woo, that is hot. Ermia, Benton, 90 for the past few days. Yeah, it's been hot. It has been hot. Shalom, Wayward 242. Thank you. You know, despite the fact that Florida is the new epicenter, their beaches down there are still packed. It's not stopping people from going down there. Yeah, Arizona is one of those places that's always hot. I remember when I was a child, the news would be there when they were going through their heat wave. And I remember this one man cracked an egg on the road and it started sizzling just like it was in a skillet. So I said, yeah, that's pretty damn hot. Mm-hmm. And I had some supporters that were in Texas, and they were talking about it was already hot in Texas. So it's been hot for us. We already been through more than one heat wave. Okay, good. We have 143 people. So that's a beautiful thing. All right. Let's see if we can get started here. Let's see. All right. All right. Let me just get to. Okay. I am ready. Okay. Shalom to everybody that just came into the chat. Shalom. All right. We're going to talk about slave labor in New York. You know, the city was built by slaves, including the street Trump lives on, which is Fifth Avenue. That is the location of Trump Tower. Even that street were built by slaves. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. True Royal, I had sent you a link. So, I mean, feel free to come and join the panel if you like. Okay, so this article really goes deep into how much of New York City was built by slaves. And of course, you know, along the way over the years, we would always hear these claims from the high IQ crowd claiming they did everything. We didn't do nothing. Well, now COVID is in their hands. Don't look like they doing too much of nothing, because nothing is getting done in this country that should get done. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is not up to us to fix what's wrong with them. It is up to them to fix it. So, Wall Street. Let's start with Wall Street. Wall Street was born directly out of slavery. How was it born out of slavery? Because the first commodity sold on Wall Street were slaves. And most of their money to build that location came directly from slavery. So when you look at that big facility, that came from slavery. Okay, slavery. So the very name Wall Street is born of slavery, with enslaved African building a wall in 1653 to protect Dutch settlers from Indian raids. This walkway and wooden fence, made up of pointed logs running river to river, later was known as Wall Street, the home of the world finance. Enslaved and free Africans were largely responsible for the construction of the early city. First, by clearing the land, because believe it or not, it's hard to believe, but Manhattan back then was a wooded area. So the land had to be cleared of all of the trees, and you know who cleared the land. I don't think I have to tell you that. And then building a fort, mills, bridges, stone houses, and the first city hall. the docks, the city prison, Dutch and English churches, the city hospital, Francis Tavern at the corner of Wall Street and Broad. They helped erect Trinity Church. In 1711, the city's Common Council established a meal market at Wall Street and Water Street for hiring slave labor and auctioning enslaved Africans who embarked in Manhattan after their long journey from the transatlantic slave trade. The merchants used these slaves to operate the port in such trades as ship carpentry and printing, according to the National Park Service. Slaves, according to the Park Service, also engaged in heavy transport, construction work, domestic labor, farming, and milling. Their efforts were part of the triangular trade. Africans living on what was called the Gold Coast, with Africans being considered black gold. That's what they called them back then. They called the slaves black gold. That's what they called them. That's right. Trinity Church was built by slaves. Okay, so they were brought using New England rum. So slaves were traded for rum. Rum. Okay, a lot of the slaves that landed in New York were paid for with rum. The Africans were sold in the West Indies to work the field to create sugar and molasses, and the sugarcane products were taken to New York and New England to be made into rum. Pier 17 on East River was in disembarking point where all ships docked along Lower Manhattan, where the Hudson and East River rippled by. Today, the pier is known as South Street Seaport, a popular destination for gift-buying tourists who just happen to be visiting where enslaved Africans first touched land in chains. The history of the area is described as, this was upscale. Now remember, the entire pier was ran by slaves. The whole pier was. Okay, so their economy, of course, started growing as the slaves built up the city. From 1825, the volume and value of imports, exports, the Seaport of South Street outdid combined trading of the two closest competitors, Boston and Philadelphia. So they were doing more trading and selling than Boston and New York. Long before the Civil War loomed, New York, after London and parts of Paris, had become the third major city in the Western world. Its glory was built largely from bricks of cotton, the product of back-breaking labor. It sure was. From seed to cloth, Northern merchant shippers and financial institutions had based in New York, controlled nearly every aspect of cotton production and trade. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 91% of America's wealth came from cotton. 91% of it came from cotton. Who picked that cotton? Okay, so any wealth they obtained, they can't even separate us from it. They cannot separate our forefathers from the wealth. Okay. Only large banks, generally located in Manhattan or in London, could extend to plantation owners the credit they needed between planting and selling their crops. Slaves were usually bought on credit. Slaves were bought on credit. That was a big thing up in New York. The Buttonwood Agreement, which started what became New York Stock Exchange, was designed in 1792 under a buttonwood tree in front of 68 Wall Street, about a block away from the slave market at the interstate of Wall and Water Streets. Agreement covered transactions and companies involved in the slave trade, including shipping, insurance, and cotton. Granted, many white folks indeed helped build America as they profited from slavery. They were able to build it from money that they got from the slave labor. And then they could finance things, but it still could not be done without the slave. None of it could be done without the slave. So they can't separate their wealth from slavery to save their mama's life. Okay. John Jacob Astor, who was born in Germany in 1763, became America's first multi-millionaire, making his fortune in furs, the China trade, and cotton transportation, part of the slave trade. Astor, who died at age 84 in 1848, is the namesake of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel and neighborhoods in New York City. Moses Taylor, who helped finance the illegal slave trade, had his offices at 55 South Street, now part of 111 South Street complex. His decade-long banking operations evolved into Citibank. Look at all these banks that came directly out of slavery. Citibank came directly out of slavery, y'all. It wouldn't exist if it wasn't for slavery. Citibank. He sat on the boards of firms that came. Con Edison. Con Edison came out of slavery. Slave labor made it possible for that corporation to exist. Bethlehem Steel and AT&T. Can you imagine that? Many of us are using phones that are AT&T or using AT&T for cell phones. AT&T came directly out of slavery. Again, a corporation that would not exist today if it weren't for slave labor. AT&T. According to Alan J. Singer, New York and Slavery. Time to teach the truth. When Taylor died in 1882 at 76, his estate was worth $40 million to $50 million, or roughly $44 billion in today's calculation. Thank you, Loveline Turner, for the super sticker. Singer also explained how Philip Livingston of Dutchess County, just north of New York City, was probably New York merchants most involved in the transatlantic slave trade. Livingston, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, endowed Yale University's first professorship using slave-based wealth. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Yale came directly out of slavery. How you doing, Queen? Okay, well, I guess you'll pop on. Pop on anytime. Okay, so Yale University, ladies and gentlemen, came directly out of slavery. It was financed and built with money that was made directly from the slaves. I mean, come on. You know, we've been telling these people forever they wouldn't have nothing if it wasn't for slavery. And just going over this is the proof right there. They would have nothing if it wasn't for slavery. Nothing. How you doing, Queen?
I'm doing fine. I'm
Okay.
doing just fine.
All right. Jump in anytime you want. All right.
Okay.
So Yale came out of slavery, slave money. He's also the founder of King College. And of Yah, thank you for the super sticker. King College, which was also later became Columbia University. So Columbia University, again, built off the backs of slaves. And his name is found on homes and estates, some now historical sites, Hudson Valley, or on Livingston Street in Brooklyn Heights. There were also three siblings, Henry, Lehmann. Y'all heard of the Lehman brothers? Well, those suckers were around. Their forefathers were around during slavery right up there in New York. So Henry Lehmann was one, and he had two brothers, Meyer and Emmanuel, who had emigrated from Germany to Alabama. By 1850, they formed Lehman Brothers, a merchandise business that quickly evolved into a cotton brokerage firm. Again, Lehman Brothers, all their wealth out of slavery, all of their wealth. Okay, in 1870, two surviving brothers moved to New York and established the New York Cotton Exchange, the first commodity future trading venture. The company also helped found the Coffee Exchange and the Petroleum Exchange. Their international investment firm died in 2008 as the Great Recession got underway. Well, good, let it die. They got it all from slavery, so I don't care about their firm dying. Another of the era's top businessman, Charles L. Tiffany and Company. So got financing to open Fancy Goods store in 1837 at 259 Broadway from his father, who operated a cotton mill. You listen to how many of these wealthy people that we know as the elite to get today, look at how they got their money. See, that's why when you hear the term old money, it's real. All of the money these folks got to this very day came directly out of slavery. So now you got Tiffany and Company, which was established when the family owned a cotton mill, and they were able to finance Tiffany and Company that exists today. Thank you for the super sticker, Sasha NYC. See, there you go. I'll probably walk past all of these businesses. Every last one of them came directly from slavery. The internationally known, renowned jeweler that most people know, which is located where Trump is, on 5th Avenue and 37th and Wall Street. Okay, in his book, Singer explained the founders of Brown Brother Harrisman built a bank by lending millions of dollars to Southern planters and arranged for the shipment and sale of slave-growing cotton in New England, Great Britain during the 1800s, when the bank took control of 3 Louisiana plantations at one point. It also got 346 enslaved Africans. And finally, after all that work, whites got to enjoy New York as the city played host to 100,000 planters and their families who came north for cooler weather during the summer. Hotels, restaurants, entertainment venues geared up for their special visitors, offering Southern hospitality up north as plantation owners rested from ordering about the people who were essential to creating America and its wealth, the slaves. You know, it is a pure insult when these people try to tell us they did everything by themselves. But when you go in history, y'all, and you start seeing stories like this that explains how New York wouldn't be what it is today if it was not for slavery. And this is many locations around the country. You have anything to say, True Royal?
Not yet. All of this I didn't heard. This ain't nothing new to me. What you're really talking about is just the foundation of America. Because remember, a number of years ago when they were showing the companies that they started off of the black backs of us. All they want to do is give them a strong apology. Fuck your apology. You run us some coins.
Amen. That's the only thing we want. But it's amazing how all of these corporate giants, many of them that we are using their services even today, that's how they got started.
And then let's not forget, because this is a part of history a lot of us don't know, that even once so-called slavery was over with, the so-called the slave owners received reparations, and it was not unusual when they were going through that process, they would actually come to us and ask us if we worked on those plantations.
Yeah,
we didn't move that very far from them people. Sometimes we was right next door to them or still working for them in a form of sharecropping. So they got reparations, and you know, we know the game that they playing with us. You know, they want to make this big old announcement, and a number of us have done videos about in North Carolina. They giving out reparations. They ain't giving out shit. It's already programs. Yeah, I just did one too.
It's bullshit. It's programs.
Anytime you hear them approve unanimously, we know it's programs. And like I'm gonna keep saying over and over again, the enemy cannot stand to see us stand alone to receive millions and trillions of dollars in our pockets. It's just something about that just kills them to see us stand alone. And when they approve these programs, the one thing that I've been trying to emphasize on my channel is that they make sure there is no guarantees, and they set the programs up to fail, and trust and believe whoever they pick to allocate the funds to via program, they hand select them. And this stuff has been done before over and over, because I think it was done in New York years ago where they was talking about, oh, okay, we got to help the gang members. And they purposely screwed that money over too as well. These programs are set up to fail and say, see, we tried our best. Even this bullshit that they've been doing lately, where they're showing that all these different corporations is donating money here and there and stuff like that. That don't have nothing to do with our reparations. We didn't ask you to donate that money and stuff. So we have to take on the attitude these people take. Like whatever they doing, you can't satisfy us ever. There's nothing that you can do that can satisfy us. You can bend over backwards. It ain't enough. And we got to stop waiting for somebody to make the slightest gesture and then you're satisfied. See, what you need to do, you need to go back and listen to some slave narratives and how they really did us. And then those feelings will conjure up in you. It'll really piss you off. It really will piss you off. I don't think some of us really know how these people really did us. And I make a point of listening to that stuff so I can stay pissed off. But there is nothing these people can do that will ever satisfy royalty. Nothing.
Carrie Clay for writing that. She said they got reparations and free labor from Black prisoners after the Civil War. Yes, they did.
Mhm.
Everything they got, you would classify that as welfare. That they got 500 years worth of welfare. And see, this is why their country is falling, y'all, because it has no foundation. Their foundation is a whole different group of people.
Mm-hmm. And they still, in some form or fashion, is still getting free labor. I mean, here in the state of California, when we keep having these big fires, they send the prisoners out there to put out the fires. And then when they get out of jail, they can't get a job as a firefighter. And they have the exact same training as the firefighter, because some of those firefighters are working shoulder to shoulder with the prisoners. So they have to have the exact training so they know how to communicate with each other when they putting out these damn fires.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they making like $1 a day.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the super chat. Backup Trick 44, Lisa. Keep bringing the truth about these high IQ fools. Yeah, you know, that's exactly what they are.
But look at how they even doing each other right now during this pandemic. They like you were saying that when we were talking behind the scenes, Lisa, they act like this money is theirs and they want to be real stingy. How they want to send out this so-called stimulus package and stuff like that. This is something that was unforeseen. We didn't have nothing to do with it. And they want the economy stimulated, but they don't want to give you nothing. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. So y'all got to come up with a decision. Well, y'all got to come up with something. Y'all want to see. This is what the government want to do. They don't want to do absolutely nothing, but they acquiring you to do 100% of what?
Right.
Of what? They're not making no sense.
No, but they're not. As long as everybody keep going out here partying everything up at the beaches, at the bar, running out here, going to parties and stuff, you have zero chance of getting rid of this thing.
Yeah. And they're not doing their part. It's like when it comes to us, in my individual family, I was with my granddaughter yesterday. I have to do my part because I want to see my granddaughter. I don't want to get sick. I want to be around my family. So I'm going to do my part. And it's an individual thing. Like I was saying to my son-in-law, me and him went for a long walk yesterday. I said, when I used to work and they would have these safety meetings at these construction sites, I caught on real quick that was just a bunch of talk and they just want you to sign the damn paper. And I was saying to a brother, I said, we better come up with our own safety program. These people just a bunch of talk. And that's how it is. Everything is on paper, but then let some drama hit. And you see what the enemy is made of. I've seen it too many times. I seen it when I used to work. When shit would hit the fan, who they come and get? They come and get us.
Sure do. They hate to come and get us, but they have no choice in many cases. CRU Reality, hashtag Foundational Negro. Thank you for becoming a channel member. Thank you. No, but you're right. I've had that happen. I can't tell you how many times, even in the tech world, I had to clean up their messes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you know, there's things that it's slogans and different things I keep on our mind, or even different songs. Remember smiling faces. That pat on your back can hold you back. Don't ever lose sight. Don't ever trust these people ever, because they showing you what they made of. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, they want everything to go back what works for them.
Right, and us being oppressed was that worked for them.
Yeah.
Never forget that.
You got some of our own talking about, I can't wait back for things to get normal. I'm so happy coronavirus is out. it wasn't no adjustment in my system. It was like, oh, hell yeah, I can see this, because it's got that one extra component that's out there when the enemy is showing they rare ass corona out there in them damn streets to attack your ass. They don't have no regard for their families. They even killing their families right now because they want to do what they want to do and stuff. And then they got a nerve to the demand for you to tell your children, to tell you that your children are gonna go to school. You got me fucked up. Oh no, we ain't going to school. Teach your kids at home. They need to stay home anyway. They're not safe with them damn people.
Well, then let Trump send his kids and grandkids. Let them go to school.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shady, tonight for the super sticker. No, let them go to school. Since he's anxious to get kids out, let the kids and his family go to school.
Now, just before I got online here with you, Lisa, they getting ready to shut California down again.
Yeah, I saw that.
We getting ready to get shut down, and this shutdown ain't gonna be nothing nice.
And when you know what, they're getting ready to. The governor up here in my state gave us a warning. Either everybody cover up and follow the social distancing guidelines, or we're going back to square one. Okay.
They're gonna have to do this thing. You cannot do this thing. I'm gonna tell you, I'm a core with y'all. I have thought of things I haven't executed because I've seen enough that however people are doing whatever they think they're gonna do, I be like, that shit ain't gonna work. But I don't have no strong need to go hit the club, hit the bar, or anything.
Those are superficial things.
I know. We overall take joy being at home with our family. I can remember when I was working, I couldn't wait to get home to my kids. See, the enemy is revealing many things about themselves, and there's a reason why we're supposed to be home. Our Father wants us home because we seeing what's going down in the streets of America. They literally are melting down. Now, I keep repeating the same thing over and over what the Creator told me 3 years ago, and you see that damn Karen or that damn Becky, she is losing it in them streets. And whatever that woman's name was, I know a lot of y'all know it. That damn fire truck hit her in her ass, and she deaded in the doornail. She wanted that. Like Big Judah said, our Father not playing with these people no more. They're not playing with them no more. I'm telling you, I've been seeing it. Lisa it's a bunch of us been seeing it, but we ain't really said much about it. Since we done came out of this captivity, they've been getting knocked on their ass. And somebody said to me, why are you getting excited? Well, I can't get excited. He said we was going to come up out of this. So we watching them become the tail. They getting weaker and weaker and stuff because they don't know what else to do but what been working for them. And what been working for them, they are so dumb. They going to keep doing the same repetitive shit and dropping like flies at the same time.
And this time around, they're saying it's the young, and it's the same crowd that's likely to go out there to the beach. You know, it's that crowd that got it now.
Everything that Lisa spoke, she was telling me all this stuff before she even put these videos up. It's like you were speaking into the universe and stuff. And I knew, like, looking, you know, like the sand is filthy. You got animals pissing and shitting in the sand, and human beings too. There's coronavirus in the damn sand. You know what? They did an aerial shot. I don't know what beach they was at the other day, Lisa. All you seen was a sea of pink. That's all you seen. A sea of pink.
Yeah.
Send your ass home.
And see, it's rising in the summer, and it's going to explode in the fall because of all of the activity that's going on in the country.
Yeah, and then let the flu kick in and all these things. I'm gonna just keep saying the same thing. We know what to take to protect ourselves and stuff like that. I'm not putting it online. You got to go behind the scenes to get the information because some of y'all really don't want it on there. I'm gonna honor my folks. I'm gonna honor that. Because we ain't gonna make it easy for the enemy. But we need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our royal babies. And individually with your family, you have to have your own protectional program. We don't do nothing that the enemy do. Because our Father gonna keep us separated. This is a blessing.
It sure is. Okay. Davania Barak Ata Lisa for this channel. Praise Yah. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So all this talk about opening schools, y'all just disregard that. If you feel your kids are better off at home, you go with how you feel.
It's programs online. It's free programs online.
Don't worry about
through homeschooling, and there's even Afrocentric programs.
Yeah, Donald Trump is an idiot. We don't follow with this man. This man hasn't been right about a single thing yet. Thank you, Gartrell McKinney, for the super sticker.
Mm-hmm.
No, Trump ain't been right about a single thing yet. And then look at him. He's trying to run off the CDC and Dr. Fauci now.
Yeah, now they're on a campaign to discredit Dr. Fauci because they didn't figure this is the best route. This is that's going to help him get reelected. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say because I don't know what our father have in store. But if Trump do become the president, I wouldn't be shocked. But I don't know. First, I was like Lisa. He was a direct shoe-in. But right now, I don't know. But ain't it ironic? Like I was saying when this thing first hit, death triumphs everything, and there's a lot of death going on, and they making a point because the media full of shit too. You don't see no funerals. You notice that? And another thing, we don't see no more marching. Them people still out there marching. Mm-hmm. See, we got to pay attention to what the enemy is doing. See what they'll do some old guilt shit for a hot moment. And then they will develop in a resentment because they cannot stand that anybody is supporting us and we're in it alone. See, like Elizabeth Warren is famous for this shit. You start talking reparations and then she's talking about white people in the Appalachians and other races of people. And I'm gonna just keep it core again. If you couldn't thrive in your fucking system, that's on you. They set this shit up for you and you couldn't thrive in it during that window of opportune time that you had. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. I don't care. Not only that, think about what I just read. I read African slaves, black slaves built New York. It don't say slaves of color. Did it say slave of color? Did it say, oh, well, let's include the poor whites? No, it said slaves. It was only one kind of slave, and they were black.
Every picture that we have ever seen, I know that I have seen personally. I ain't seen no white person in the cotton field or any other race of person in the cotton field. I've seen a lot of our babies.
Right. We don't see, and that's why I'm telling y'all, the next time they talk that people of color to you, your next reply to is show us the picture of the people of color slaves that were out there. Was it just us or all these other people that y'all like to include? Then there is no need in bringing that up when we talk about reparations. Thank you, Wim 5465 for the super sticker. Thank you.
See, I'm glad that you said that because we have to be prepared if we choose to have a dialogue. And there's certain things they like to throw up. One of their famous ones is black on black crime. How I respond to that is you don't give a damn about black on black crime at all. You should be happy to see more and more black people kill each other. So what you mean, what about black on black crime? You got to know how to counteract it.
How they got crime.
Don't
you run your mouth about somebody else's crime and your community, the crime is so damn rampant.
Mm-hmm. We're even during these shutdowns. What was they doing to each other during the shutdown? Beating each other's ass in the house.
Domestic violence. Yep.
A couple of white boys kill their wives during these shutdowns.
Mm-hmm.
They can't. I remember I said to a brother years ago at work, I said, you think that they shut that evilness off at work? I said, no, they take that demonic energy home too as well. And if they don't have a place to release that energy, they will release it on each other. Them people don't get along at home at all. So don't think they just come to the job and mess with us. So I'm glad they shutting down. You know, I'm glad that they dropping like flies. I'm glad that they killing each other. I'm glad that they don't have no damn money. I want them to feel our pain to and fro. I want them to feel this for an eternity.
I tell you what, COVID seems to be the great equalizer, don't it?
Right?
It's the great equalizer.
And we just have to be sensible about what we do out here, but we don't follow the enemy. We follow our Father.
No, I don't care what they do, what they reopen, what they gonna do, what threats they make. We don't pay attention to none of that.
I did not know. Like I said, I'm always a person that's open to learn, and I've learned so much during coronavirus. And what you was telling me, I did not know that keeping these restaurants and shit was open was a serious business, because I didn't, I paid attention to certain things about them and stuff, curbside service and all that kind of stuff. I said, oh, they like to be catered to it all the time. These people don't cook, don't do nothing. They, what's essential to them, keeping bars open, going to the gym and all this kind of, I'm like, damn, these people something else.
Well, you just look at slavery. Our women did all the cooking all through chattel slavery and all through Jim Crow. That's why after slavery was over, what did they do? They built up the South and grabbed up Black women to get them back in the house to cook and clean and raise their kids. They weren't trying to do it themselves.
And they don't want to do it now. Black woman raising 2 households. That's what a Black woman been doing. Little raggedy ass kids.
Yeah, you got that right.
But I'm glad that you really touched on even more so, because I was talking about New York, and New York tries to hide that they had slavery because they want to come off like California, like they so liberal.
But Queen, I did another video. This probably was back in 2017. White households, the majority of white households in New York back then had at least one slave. But you know what they tell us? Oh, not that many people had slaves. Only 1%. That's a 1% lie. The majority of them had slaves. That's why damn near every white person that's been here for generations they can name the slave owners in their damn families. Don't be about that. Ain't no my family was like, they're lying to you.
This audio book I've been listening to that this sister put together, 41% of white women had slaves.
Right. Sure did.
And they want to say that she was a victim in the whole that whole era during that time. That woman was directly involved.
But the ones that be saying that are them old them old hoeing Black guys that like to swirl. Those are the ones be saying that she's a victim. Come on. Nobody else knows that.
Yeah. It's that book is heavy, because the way that sister put that book together, I know, because I listened to a couple of her lectures, and the energy that I was feeling in those rooms, them white people was uncomfortable, because she they don't like when you bring that stuff. It was very uncomfortable, and it just shows you it really exposed white women and how they really get down, and now we're witnessing her meltdown, because them white men is done with her too. They really done with her. And when I really caught on to it is when you did that video a long time ago, when you did that video, they said on a percentage level that it was more white women in jail than any other color woman. And I got to thinking, I said, well, they usually got the means to get their own out. So that means homeboy, he probably done dropped the kids off at her mama house and packed his shit and left, leave her there. That speak volumes. I'm trying to tell you, it's some stuff going on in their communities.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can't produce, you don't have no value. Becky having meltdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know how to mind their damn business. Boy, they bold.
Yeah, and those Karen videos are coming out like a damn tidal wave.
Ain't they? Boy, I seen that Karen video, even though it was another race of a woman on Phil's channel today. At least I was screaming. They was living in an apartment and they was repoing a Corvette. You know, I was like, that woman had a meltdown about that car.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, them Karen videos. It's a white boy's channel I look at. That's all he do is put up Karen videos.
Yeah, I had one come in my comment section and he wrote, "Good, I can't stand these bitches either."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the name of the book. They Were Her Property. Yeah, that's the book that I've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Said, "Good, I can't stand that bitch either."
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, it must really be bad for y'all.
They don't know how to mind their business. They're gonna make it their business to get in other people's business. Like a couple of weeks ago, it was a young sister, but she was heavy set. That older white woman called her a nigger.
Oh, she had her all on the floor.
She knocked her on her ass.
Sure did.
Mm-hmm. See, I know some sisters like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you ran up on the right one today. Oh yeah, I don't have those encounters.
Uh-huh.
If I ever do, I hope somebody be filming it and put it in heavy rotation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that video, Pat. Karen Nita. Yeah, they ain't nobody.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
Yeah.
You know what? The funny one that's funny is the white woman that's talking to the cops and she started screaming and they just went and got in their cars. That shit had me cracking up.
Mm-hmm.
She just screams.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Look at people. Oh yeah, now folks gonna be showing the fire truck. Oh my goodness. You know what? I was talking to Lisa on the phone about that nut. What's her name? Ruth, I think. And
Rachel Ruth.
I was like, oh, Rachel. Okay, Rachel. And I'm letting Lisa know. Lisa, she been hit by a fire truck and she in critical condition. And then I seen the news feed on the side. It said she was dead. I was like, what? Then today I seen a picture. Her ass was laid out in the streets. This cow purposely walked in the traffic. It wasn't like that was like, you know, that type of accident that you normally see. She purposely walked in the traffic. So you purposely get knocked on your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then what pissed me off, she grabbed the groin of one of our royal children. And all they did was process her ass through the jail. That's all they did.
And she choked that child too.
She was supposed to be in jail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she choked.
So my father took care of that.
And that was some swift justice right there.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, my attitude on this, Lisa, even if you think about doing something to us, say they don't even execute it, you're gonna get the wrath. We as y'all gonna see over time, it's not gonna be a good thing fucking with us. Because some kind of way that karma gonna be very, very instant. And the enemy gonna be real slow to catch on.
Yeah, I think it was everywhere. TMZ said the hoe was dead.
Oh my goodness. Man, I wonder how many people gonna run to her funeral. Yeah, Mary Kay Letourneau had died of cancer.
That old pedophile. Yeah, her pedophilia ass finally died.
Mm-hmm. And they was already divorced too. He had left that woman. But they said he came back and stayed with her till she died, messing around with her. Well, she was in her 30s and he was 13 years old.
Yeah, like I said, pedophile.
Uh-huh. Oh man. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if that fire truck's okay. Wonder if there was any dents or anything in it.
I hope it's all right. I want that fire truck to, do what it got to do. We
My
pay for it.
fire truck,
Hmm.
not her.
Hmm. I just can't picture nobody going to her funeral. I mean, that woman ran around rotten all day.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now I told you that took me for a loop. I was like, damn, she dead. But then you think about it, you get hit by a fire truck. You
Well,
you don't want to live.
but she wasn't doing nothing with her life anyway. Look at what she was doing, just on the streets bothering people. She wasn't doing nothing with
Uh-huh. Just terrorizing folks.
her. Mm-hmm.
But see, the pigs is wrong. If that would have been a black woman doing what she did to one of their children, that black woman would still be in jail.
Or would.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Larry Walker, for the super sticker. Thank you.
Because I looked at her at many things, and that's a pedophile. The stuff she was saying to that girl and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that video. That was unbelievable. And then they said she attacked her.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she got in jail, but she had no business getting out. They should have never let her out.
They just processing them through. That's all they doing.
Mm-hmm.
Take them a few hours. They fingerprint you, mug shot you, process you through, give you a piece of paper, and say show up in court, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
What big deal? If she would have been alive, all they probably would have did was fine her, and that was it, and put on a little bit of probation and all of that. Oh yeah, you make me think of something too. That's like um Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer. That sucker violated his shit, and now he got to do this whole. He had 18 months to do in jail.
Yeah.
He wasn't even out a month, Lisa. And wasn't even out a month. And all you got to do is stay your ass home.
And he couldn't do it.
He wasn't supposed to get on the internet. He was doing that, going out to dinner and everything. And then had the nerves to squawk about the stipulations. They said, okay, we're going to lock you up. We're going to make an example of your ass.
Mm-hmm.
He just thought he was going to go in, fill out some papers real quick. And he told the reporters to wait. He said, I'll be about 20 minutes. 2 hours passed. They called his wife. His wife didn't know what was going on. So she, made a few calls, found out his ass back in jail. You're going to do all of that 18 months. That's arrogant.
Mm-hmm. That was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was dumb.
Mm-hmm. A lawyer, he know better. But that's their attitude.
Mm-hmm.
They act like staying at home is a jail sentence.
Mm-hmm. Now he ain't gonna see the light of day until 2022. Serves his ass.
Mm-hmm. That's what he get.
Mm-hmm.
But his wife is devastated. His wife going out to dinner with him. I blame her ass too. Mm-hmm. She should have said, honey, I don't think we should do this.
Just like they are in general about COVID. I'm going to do what I want. Okay, go do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Go do what you want. And when you get sick, don't come in front of us whining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I seen that picture. I bet you he went out dinner a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, see, that's somebody snapped a damn picture of him. And that's how he busted. Now, like I said, when you got a recognizable face, you best to lay low.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he had to do was just lay low. I don't know what it is with their fascination about being at a restaurant. Restaurant food ain't even the best food.
Like you said, it has more to do with wanting to be served in their laziness. Mm-hmm. And then their entitlement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sure is. Mm-hmm. What did you think about Nick Cannon getting fired from Viacom?
I wasn't surprised. But I did read in Revolt earlier this morning that a lot of people from the Jewish community had reached out to him, and he was apologizing. And I know why he did that, because he worried about his, his coins. And it's the same old BS where and we need to be like this too. You anything you say to these say about these fake Jews, they just untouchable. It's even in the gay community, they don't do no wrong, they're untouchable too. And then everybody just going berserk. It's phony. It's fake rage. It's fake. It's all fake. They know these people. Them people didn't learn from the Holocaust. They said they would never forget, and we have to have the same attitude. So that's why I was saying, when I did the video about the white couple that had pulled the gun on these black women, and I knew that some of our folks was going to say, well, the black side of it, they should have just kept it moving. And this is just where I'm at. I'm gonna do what the enemy do. As far as I'm concerned, our folks don't do nothing wrong. Everything my folks do is right. I'm gonna always slant it back in our favor, because it's not going to change anything showing these people again that we can be fair, balanced, and objective. We got to be lopsided with it, just like they are with their own. Because it's not going to change nothing. And I know that, and you got to realize the enemy put these things on us. It's like we'll get shamed of some of the stuff that our own or do. It makes us look bad. It don't matter. They're going to make us look bad any way it go. I can see the most insane situation and our folks could be way out of pocket. I don't see it. You wrong for just being in the presence of us. If you wasn't in the presence of us, the shit wouldn't happen. Somebody say, well, that's ignorant what you're saying. It's ignorant what the white folks is doing. We see shit that they do all the time. They even go to court and they let them off. They can have footage and everything of it, and they continue to let them off. So fuck them. I don't care. It's going to always go on the way I look at it. My people don't do no wrong at all.
But I see what some of y'all are writing. Yes, Lincoln did have slaves. And that is a big piece of history they always leave out. They only want you to associate him with the Emancipation Proclamation. It's all bullshit. He had slaves. And another one that had slaves, and I was told they never had a slave, and I knew it was a lie. They said Ben Franklin had 2 slaves. But, I've had white people try to tell me Ben Franklin never had any slaves, and that's a damn lie.
No, in that era, most of them had slaves.
They had slaves.
If they had a little bit of money, that was just part of the culture. They have a slave.
So we all know virtually everything they done taught us up in here are lies. Any truth about nothing.
And they still hanging on that shit that Lincoln freed the slaves. When y'all really study about what that was all about, that was all about economics. They getting one side is getting free labor. And they trying to make it like the other side cared about our pain and plight. And it was our folks that fought in both sides of that. Now think about how screwy that was. And stuff.
Now Lincoln was a slave owner. Okay. He was no victim in nothing that happened.
He didn't give a damn about no black folks.
And remember, it was his own people that took his ass out. His own people killed him.
That's usually how I go. Like the one thing I keep seeing that's amazing to me about this coronavirus, the enemy has long ago prepared themselves because they think we dumb enough, like they listening to us now, that we're going to get online and plot something to overthrow the government. So, there's bullets that are pointed on us even as we speak. They never prepared for something, like I say, that you can't see with the naked eye, that's odorless, tasteless, weightless, and everything. Something, an amoeba that is so tiny, but it's so strong that can knock out an entire army. They never prepared for that. They prepare for things on a grander scale. But it has manifested in their life very big. And y'all notice they will not do a racial breakdown who actually getting it and stuff. They keep
actually, Phil did post something in his
he found something.
tab, and overwhelmingly white people getting it more than anybody else. Overwhelmingly.
Yeah, because remember when we were talking about when it first came out, and quickly over in Italy, they became the epicenter, and they said it was middle-aged white men getting this stuff. And it would be just like, because some of y'all probably wasn't even born as listening when AIDS came out. We remember when it wasn't no AIDS. Mainly AIDS was something that white gay males were getting. Now, the way they have it set up, it came out of the Black community. And that stuff was already been spread in other countries because they had means to travel, and they would have their little sex parties in other countries and stuff. Gay white males are the ones that were the first people to spread HIV. Wealthy gay white males, just like the coronavirus.
They were the ones doing all the traveling and getting around, right?
Yeah, we don't have the means to travel like that. And even with this coronavirus, who's spreading this? See, they won't say the word. They keep saying, even I caught Cuomo saying it. They keep saying it like this: Europeans travel to Europe, and then when they come back to Europe, to America, in a few weeks, we see coronavirus.
Yeah, but
speaking of your own,
many of these Americans do that same kind of travel. They
we
do
don't
that same kind of travel.
We don't have overall the means to travel at the level that they travel at, and usually, and it's not unusual, they go to these other countries to fulfill their sexual needs. You know, they looking for children or whatever their thing is. Yeah, so they, at the end of the day, now you just blurt out that it's Black people and stuff, and then also pay attention to what they not reporting, but you have to go look yourself. They were sitting there bracing themselves, waiting for this to hit Africa on a big time. Well, they used to dealing with pandemics because these countries, these European countries, that went over there and poisoned these folks anyway. They just know how to deal with it. They're self-contained. They ain't had to reach out to help nobody. I mean, to ask help from anybody. I didn't went over there and paid attention and studied what they doing.
Everybody on Trump's task force ain't no good. It's not just Falsey. Brits, that woman, Brits, she ain't no damn good either.
She just there for a check.
She ain't no damn good either. None of them are any good. A combination of politicians and doctors, and still don't know a damn thing about COVID. So I mean, that just right there shows you.
And then you see that interview with Betsy DeVos when that woman was questioning her about them kids. Boy, she looked like a fool.
You got to be a fool to listen to any of these folks when it comes down to your kids going to school. You would have to be foolish to listen to them. Like I said, these folks had a chance to prove that they could handle COVID. They can't handle COVID, y'all. They can't handle it at all. And Trump wants the country reopened. He has no plan. He has no plan. He just wants everybody to get back out there and work so it can make him look good election time.
Yeah, but no, where's the jobs at?
That's the thing. And they were like, well, Ivanka, I don't know if you heard what his daughter did. She went over on Twitter and said, well, what's the problem? Just go get another job. These places ain't know where they going to get a job from. Get a job from where?
Jobs.
Yeah. And they said right now there's not enough openings to go around. You're talking about 49 million people that are laid off, in about 8 million jobs. You know, that's still the majority of the people not working. And when those jobs do open, it's going to be hundreds of thousands of applicants going for the same job. It's going to be crazy out here.
It sure is.
And like I said, some of these people are going to have to face the fact they're going to be out of work, in many cases, for years.
Yeah, when I asked my son-in-law what he was going to do, because he's a nurse, but he works at a high school, and he said so far they doing everything online. They're not going to those schools.
They shouldn't go back to the school. That's stupid.
Yeah, they have notified them, and that's how they're going to do it. And also, and I told Lisa this behind the scenes, they have offered him a great deal of money to work in these hospitals. He said he not working in those hospitals.
No, first of all, they got those nurses in such a bad situation. They're now back to, there's not enough PPE now that it's a surge of people going into them hospitals. They said they're running out of the PPE again. They are working those nurses to the bones. They're not even allowed to take breaks. It ain't worth being in there. You'll lose your damn mind. And Texas just brought in refrigerated trucks because so many people are dying in Texas. They're doing the same thing New York did. They're those refrigerated trucks to all the area hospitals.
Now you see how our father gave them an example how quickly that stuff can go out of control when it was just focused on New York. I guess they think it wasn't going to touch them. And I wanted to say, because it's going to hit all the other states eventually. Start when you go to the store, double up on what you need to get, because it's getting skimpy in the stores already. And I noticed that about 3 weeks ago. I went to the Dollar Tree, and it wasn't supplied like it normally is.
Yeah.
And thank goodness we had supplies, but we just been making sure we add to it. And now California shut down. So we back shut down.
Yeah, you're back to square one.
Yeah.
When you really shouldn't be, but you are. But see, the reckless, most of these states in the South, they are governed by Republicans. Georgia, Florida, Texas, and those are where you got the biggest cases. In the red states.
Yep. But I'm not surprised because, let's go back to Memorial Day when they first was out there, and they was all up on each other, and then all these other hella days. Okay, it's been 2 days now. On the 14th, that was from 4th of July. That's why we hearing so many numbers, even more so. And then also those people out there marching, because some people out there marching. It was a lot of people. There's a lot of people been out there marching. People are close to each other, but they deliberately having coronavirus parties.
Yeah, trying to get, and people are going there sick, purposely giving it to other people. Oh, it's a mess. It's a mess. I don't see how anybody could do that, but
they shut down Nevada too. Oh, I didn't catch that. I'm not surprised.
I know Arizona is another one where they're struggling.
That's where I was born. I got a lot of family there, but most of them are school teachers.
Well, I know these teachers out here where I am, they said they ain't going nowhere near no school. They don't care what Trump says. They ain't going nowhere near no damn school.
I remember when you had said when it first hit, let's say around latter February, but around the first part of March, everything that you said was going to happen, it happened. People go back and listen to some of them videos. I said, I was telling Big Mike behind the scenes, I said, she spoke it into the universe. Our father gave you that much insight. See, that's the thing. As long as we separating from them, you notice our folks that are around them a lot, because a lot of people who keep up with celebrity news, I'll use Jada Pinkett and Will Smith for instance. They thinking is fucked up. you're around the enemy so long that you start doing shit that they do. You done lost your damn self.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did see the North Carolina reparations. In fact, I did that story this afternoon. It'll be coming out at midnight. So those of you that want to see that video, I'll have it out at midnight. Yeah, did you hear one of them, Megan the Stallion? She got shot.
Sure did. I was watching a video about it last night. I think she got shot 3 times by this dude.
Yeah, and he's a rapper.
Yeah.
Diana Renee, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Lisa. Did you see the Philip Scott show today? The repo man was coming from Karen's Corvette. Yeah. I saw that. I did see it, Diana. I did see that. I thought it was funny as hell.
Yeah, that was tragic. And you just look at situations like that. We have no business being out. What was she doing out? What was he doing out? And ended up getting shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's lucky she didn't lose her life.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't. But like I had said last week, I snuck out the house and just went to a store not too far from me. In the energy at night that I felt, it felt very negative, and I said, "No, I can't do that no more." I didn't like the way it felt. It's an energy out there that's letting us know, stay your ass in.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, this is a critical time for us to keep our immune system up.
Did you hear about? It's
going to get worse. It's you think it's bad now. This is nothing. I'm telling you, I believe the fall is going to be so out of control.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear what the governor did in Atlanta?
Yes,
they hot it in a firecracker at him.
Some of the mayors wanted to impose, mandatory mask, and the governor banned them from doing it. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so he could stay in favor with Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're gonna kill your people just so you can look good to some lousy ass president.
But what's a trip is to show you how they think. So you gotta wait for one of these so-called leaders to say it's okay not to wear the mask. It's okay to do that. Think about that. This disease is highly contagious, but their leadership said it's okay not to wear it. So I guess I'm not going to get it. At the end of the day, it's an individual decision. Because when your ass get it, they're not going to be there for you. That's like if people start sending their kids back to school, they're not going to be there for them.
Right. And Trump will be the first one saying it's not his fault. He'll be the first one jumping up saying it ain't his fault that your kids got sick.
And everywhere that people are coming together, you getting professional athletes getting it and all of that. Because they feel it's essential to watch football and baseball and basketball and all of that.
Yeah.
We watching the collapse go down because over time, more and more these people get it, more and more deaf, that it changes the vibe of people after a while, just naturally. Even the ones that are being rebellious, when it touch their individual families or themselves, I have not heard one yet say, wow, I got this stuff. And even though I have it, I still don't believe in it. You know, like that girl that died the other day. She went to a coronavirus party and her last words was, I thought it was a hoax.
There's a lot of people that still, even to this very day, they'll tell you it's a hoax. But I tell you what, my uncle and his wife were tested. It wasn't a hoax to her. She had a real dry cough and got checked and she got COVID. So if it's a hoax, it sure wasn't one to her.
Yeah. How is she doing, Lisa?
Like I said, she got rid of the dry cough, and right now she, my uncle was saying she's not showing any signs that she even got anything.
That's good.
So all we can do is pray, and I told him do everything he can to keep his immune system up, even hers,
Yeah, that's the key. Yeah, keeping your immune system up and staying in as much as possible. And if you have to go out, what I do the
Like I
few times
said,
I
separation is permanent, y'all. It's permanent. We ain't going back out here like we were before.
you just got to know how to navigate yourself out there when you go out there. Because I know I went for a long walk yesterday with my granddaughter, and it wasn't a lot of people out, but I was just very aware of my surroundings more so than ever. That's something that I noticed that's different when I do go out. I really pay attention.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you.
You know, because we still got to get out and get some air, but it's a whole different thing. We don't gotta go to no damn beach or bar.
No, that's not, I don't care what nobody say. A beach is not a necessity.
Mm-mm.
That is not a necessity.
The governor of Florida talking about real wrestling is a necessity.
Yeah, but see, you got a governor that's a retard.
Listen, he looked like he came straight out of a cave.
Mm-hmm.
Straight out of it. He just got a dunce look on his face.
Mm-hmm. And man, those people, they said he can't go nowhere without being heckled now.
They're good for him.
People are so mad and upset with his ass.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Let him keep acting like a fool.
Mm-hmm. I know.
But, but let him go ahead, because like I said, a lot of people are mad. And even with Trump, I'm looking at so many of his supporters online. When you look at some of the stories about Trump, go in the comment section, because you'll see a lot of his voters. They were like, look, I voted for him the last time. He will not get my vote. He will not get my vote. He's lost a lot of his base. He really did. Them people are so angry at him for his poor way of handling this whole thing. Man, they are furious with his behind.
Yep.
And I don't know. We'll see who wins, but I for like I said, I thought Trump was a shoo-in, but not anymore. I don't feel that way at all now.
It don't matter who steps.
They don't do shit for us, no matter who's in there.
No, we already know what's going on. It don't matter who's in there.
Mm-hmm. It sure don't.
Babylon gonna continue to fall.
Yes, sure will.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude right now. Thank you, True Royal, for joining me on the panel, and everybody, y'all have a safe and wonderful night. And really stay safe, because the lower 45, the states are going into a heat wave as of Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all just stay cool, stay out of all that hot sun. I guess the Most High say, if you won't separate, I'll put this heat down on you. I bet you'll get somewhere and go somewhere and sit down.
Did you hear it was 130 in Death Valley?
Yeah.
I can't even fathom that kind of heat.
Mm-hmm. Well, they said over the next couple of days, we're going to be in the 90s, and a lot of places are going to be in triple digits. So now for us, it's 93 Saturday, 97 Sunday, and 98 Monday.
Damn.
So, all I can do, I'm really I'm not worried about going nowhere. I don't have to be out nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be anywhere. I can stay in and be just fine. But y'all, yes, right. You take that vitamin C. Got it. Drink that, the tea, take the supplements, and you'll be just fine. All right, everybody. May the Most High keep you safe and keep his hedge of protection around each and every one of you. May he fulfill all of your needs while you're in this Gentile world, which is being judged. And may the Most High make us the head and make them the tail. Hallelujah. Shalom, family.